The Queen Mother's legacy is darker than you think. Nicknamed Mary Mischief, lovingly called Cherub, and named Elizabeth Angela Marguerite Bowes Lyon at birth, Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, had many names and many sides to her personality. Though she left this world with the impression of a soft ruler, history has revealed surprisingly dark shades to her sunny personality. Here are some details of her life that are slowly but definitely coming to light, which have left the public in shock. Number 1. Determined or spoiled? Born into a wealthy noble family on August 4th, 1900, Queen Elizabeth was the 9th of 10 siblings and spoiled rotten by her loving parents. She was an intelligent child who knew her own mind and went after what she wanted with surprising brutality. While some considered her bold and courageous, others viewed her as a spoiled girl rightly named the Merry Mischief. One famous story from her childhood was sending a telegram SOS, LSD, RSVP to her father asking for money. Yet the wild side of her personality was balanced with calm charm and confidence, which won everyone over, a quality that served her well after her marriage. Number 2. Terrible in-laws. On April 26, 1923, Lady Elizabeth tied the knot with Prince Albert, the second son of King George V. It was clear that while Queen Elizabeth's sunny and cheerful personality was a lifeline to her husband, these very same qualities set her father-in-law, King George V, against her. Her addressing her partner as Bertie, in her very first interview, was ill-received by her furious father-in-law. Dealing with a father-in-law who enjoyed his reputation as a terror was difficult, but soon her appearances won her the title of the Smiling Duchess, the first royal to do so. Number 3. Enemy like no other. But the smiling Lady Elizabeth could take a dislike to people easily, and once riled up, she continued her fight till the end. She took an instant dislike to Wallis Simpson, the Duke of Windsor and King George's successor when he decided to marry. At a dinner engagement at Balmoral Castle, Elizabeth walked right past her, saying, "I came to dine with the king," and seated herself at his right hand. When the Duke of Windsor left the throne for Wallis Simpson, forcing his younger brother to fill the throne, Lady Elizabeth furiously blamed Wallis Simpson for ruining their lives. Number 4. Hitler's enemy number 1. The turbulent days leading up to the Second World War made Queen Elizabeth an immediate target, since everyone knew she was the actual power behind the throne. Surprisingly, the most poisonous criticism and extreme dislike for Elizabeth came from within Europe, with Hitler calling her the most dangerous woman in Europe. Even the French Prime Minister, Édouard Daladier, claimed that she was an excessively ambitious young woman who would be ready to sacrifice every other country in the world so that she may remain queen. Number 5. Social gaffe. But while cunning and observant, Elizabeth could be surprisingly ignorant of other people's suffering. For her wartime visit to the East End of London, she wore high heels, expensive jewelry, and feminine clothes in the hopes of cheering up the public. But the idea backfired as an angry public only saw that the Queen continued to lead a luxurious life while they starved. She redeemed herself and earned the public's love when she refused to shift to Canada with her daughters and abandon her husband to his fate. Instead, she learned to fire a revolver and ration her food. Number 6. Temper. That love came into question briefly when, on a well-publicized tour of South Africa in 1947, the famous poise and calm the Queen was loved for broke. The victim was a fan who had approached her vehicle suddenly when she swung her umbrella at his unsuspecting head and gave him a good hit. Her rather violent reaction might have been caused by the fright she got, but we will never know. The incident was wholly unexpected, but it effectively trashed her public facade as a lovable and peaceful lady. It was clear that the charming Queen Elizabeth had a temper, as was witnessed by many on that day. Number 7. Party Queen. As the Second World War ended, the palace occupants returned to their partying ways, beloved by the Queen. The royal family restarted fun and silly games that bordered on the rude, such as sardines. Dance evenings and singing around the piano became everyday activities. One of these was the infamous display called Parade, which involved courtiers and surprising cabinet ministers marching past the king while he stood to attention by the fire. Excited shouting over games of cards became the norm. The Queen herself was rumored to be a pro at racing demon. It was all fun and games until a blow hit the Queen Mother's heart directly. Number 8. Keeping a grudge. The king's health was failing steadily until 1951, when a tumor was discovered on his lung, and he passed at the age of 56. The Queen was heartbroken and decided to put the blame on Wallis Simpson's shoulders for his death. Surprisingly, she claimed that if Wallis hadn't trapped the Duke of Windsor, she and her beloved husband would not have had to take on the responsibilities of the throne, the stress of which ultimately led to his disease. She went so far as to not allow the Duke of Windsor to attend his brother's funeral. Number 9. Reigning through the daughter. With the passing of the late King George III, his eldest daughter became queen. With her daughter on the throne, Queen Elizabeth practiced her influence on the new queen and negotiated for herself a new title that had never been heard of before. Though a new queen was on the throne, Queen Elizabeth continued to pull the strings as she enjoyed the good life. In fact, she kept a separate residence in the castle and was the cause for friction with her independent-minded son-in-law, Prince Philip. Number 10. A love of booze. Not getting along with her son-in-law was the least of her concerns, as Queen Elizabeth was too busy indulging herself. Incidentally, she could outdrink a sailor with ease. A normal day for her included a Dubonnet at noon, red wine at lunch, a port and a martini for supper, and 2 glasses of champagne for dinner. That image does not gel with the image of the prim and proper Queen of England. But what was behind closed doors was completely different from the persona shown to the public. Number 11. She hated Princess Diana. But the lovable Queen Elizabeth was stuck in her old-fashioned sense of responsibility and nationhood. As Princess Diana was found to be uncomfortable, her presence was not appreciated. Somehow, she proved the Queen to be a powerful enemy, and in no time, the late Lady Diana found herself in hot waters with Queen Elizabeth. She accused Lady Diana of messing up everything. Her habit of speaking her mind led to Lady Diana dealing with severe difficulties. Number 12. A beloved squanderer. The Queen Mother was always fond of a luxurious lifestyle, and her spending was through the roof. When the scandal broke in 1998 that she had a £4 million overdraft, she refused to put a stop to it. Instead, she buckled down her spending by going racing on the very same day. Her love for all the luxuries she enjoyed because of her title trumped everything else. The horses she loved, the lavish clothes, expensive jewelry, and art pieces were luxuries she refused to live without, no matter the cost. Her mantra was to enjoy life, above all. While Queen Elizabeth might have had a prickly personality, she was immensely dear to the public, which lovingly gave her the title of Queen Mum. What do you think about the hidden facts about Queen Elizabeth? Do you think she was as sweet as her smiles always presented? Or do you think such a title needs a strong woman who can do it justice? Let us know in the comments below. Do remember to like and subscribe to our channel.